Let's go. If you're tired of not feeling fit, tired of just not having a focus, tired of just not having the financial resources, the life you deserve, this is your place to be. This is the Live 100 podcast. I'm Jason Yarusi, the place you come to break the habits that no longer serve you by taking control of your life and taking back what is rightfully yours. Time for some So today I want to talk about stress, the good and the bad. And so most of the times, you use the word stressed as if it's a negative, right? I'm stressed out. I have so much stress. It's just horrible. I feel awful, right? So ask yourself, like, have you thought that? Do you think that? Do you just feel stressed right now? And when you think about that, right, there's just so much negativity that comes around that word stress. But if you work into it, right, and you work into the avenues of where stress can be positive, stress can be negative, you can really start to divide and conquer where you can use stress to your advantage and how to take control of stress when it's bringing on the pressure and bringing on the negativity that is usually synonymous with the word itself. So I want to talk to you about a few things here. The positive effects of stress is that it really gets you motivated, gets you focused, right? When there's high stress, high activity, high energy needs, right? Stress comes in to push you, to motivate you, and to really make you focused on what's important. Next is it just really builds on your resilience. When you are able to take on stress and learn how to cultivate stress in the right way, it makes you stronger to be more focused, to just solve problems in a bigger way. If as you grow, you see problems constantly as a negative, it's going to make it very hard for you to overcome. But if you're faced against struggles and faced against challenges and you find a way to get past it, find a way to overcome it, your mind fortifies, your body fortifies, that you are able to just go and surpass that to your greatest needs on and on again, because you've learned how to see a struggle not as something as a setback, but as an opportunity. Next is just growth and learning as we go through these phases here of stress, right, and through resilience, right, it gives us feedback, right? One of the most important things is the feedback loop. And when you take on action, and action creates resistance, and resistance creates stress, and stress creates growth, right? It leads us to this really important feedback loop. Because in our mind, in our bodies, right, we have this moment in time where we get this information and we have to process it within our mind, but then we have to have the feedback into the future of how this information not only serves us now, but will serve us as we go forward again and again and again. And lastly, it really helps us focus on time. When we have stress, we have to really hone in on what's important right now and what I can and can't do, right? Stress and time management can be two things that are just polar opposites, or two things that can really draw you together. Because when you have a stressful day, or you have a stressful life, or a stressful business, or a stressful just environment, which most of us do, because most of us are, working jobs, running businesses, keeping fit, going out there, being at our kids' activity, being present, being with our spouse, and we're having all this stress of trying to be all, it can be overwhelming. And then you look at it of just how you have your time basically put aside and are using your time in the best way. Most of the failures in time management is we're trying to do everything, and ideally we can't do any of it because we're not doing anything well. We're just trying to do all this stuff, and we feel stressed because we're not actually getting anything done. Now, some of the negatives of stress is health issues, right? If you are not handling stress in the right way, it can really take you over the hill. I mean, you see people in very high stress environments, right? You look at some of the presidents we've had in the past and just how they age over the course of the 4 years, just because of the massive stress of the weight of the role, of the decisions, of just all the things that are back. We see people who go and just work themselves into the ground, just to stress on just their bodies, just their face, just their mannerisms, just their overall mentality just gets worn out because of the stress of the environment, right? Next is that it lowers your productivity. If you're constantly stressed out, you can't be clear, you can't be focused, you can't be grounded to go and make clear decisions. And that limits you from the path that you try to be on of just being productive and getting things done. And it can hurt you next in sleep, right? If you're stressed out and you're overwhelmed, you have all these things on your mind, all these things, all this weight on your back, right? It's hard for you to go and just be feeling rested because you're constantly waking up. You're constantly worried, right? I mean, have you woken up before, right? I've been in the past where I wake up and I'm worried about the next day. I'm worried about these things. I'm worried about what's coming. I'm worried about what I have to do. I'm worried about all this stuff. And what would serve me, right, is what we're going to talk to now: mindfulness and meditation. Now, if you're not one who wants to meditate, being mindful and being at peace is very important in your day. When I wake up in the middle of the night now, I say, well, how am I going to solve this right now? Because the two choices I can get out of bed and go try to do something, which may be really not productive, or I can go back to sleep. And 99% of the time, it is no benefit for me to get up and do something, because really everything's going to happen during the business hours for where I can actually be in contact or do something that could push the path forward. And all it's going to do is take me away from the goal if I'm staying up into the middle of the night. Next is exercise. A great way to combat stress is to put your body through a stressful exercise, because learning your body and learning how you can push your body helps to fortify your mind as well, because your mind says, oh, I can't do one more rep, and your body does it, right? And then you build it again. You can't do that weight, and then you do that weight, right? I can't run that distance, and you run that distance, and your mind gets used to pushing yourself outside your bounds because your body can do it. And then that allows you to face stress head on. Next is understanding your time management. We talked about this earlier, is that when we're looking at our time and we're using our time accordingly. If you get in, you have three things that are going to make you productive in the day, but your first 30 minutes is on social media. Your next 30 minutes is looking at the news. Your next 30 minutes is sitting there talking to someone in the office. That's not a productive business-oriented conversation. Well, now you've used an hour and a half of time that you really need to get those three things done. And maybe you try to squeeze those three things in, you get 2.5 done because the last one can't be done productively. You have to run out the door. And you say, I had no time today to get things done. You did, but you didn't use your time wisely. So looking at your time and say how you can be efficient in the mold. Another one to look at stress is surrounding yourself. I go to a group of individuals who are high performers, high net worth individuals, and we sit there and we talk once a month, and we talk about what's working in our business, how we can go forward. We have other people come in and speak about what they're doing to move forward and how they're optimizing businesses, because it lets us know we're not alone. We're not out there on our own life, that we all feel like we're in a silo, but there's everyone else facing like kind challenges. We just fail to go and find people that are like us so we can understand what we're going through and understand that others are going through it too, and shortcut the time we're going through something because someone else has already done it successfully, and we can learn from that and get the feedback from that. Next is just understanding how to set boundaries. This goes with time management. Sometimes we need to say no, and no is very important. It's better to say no than a maybe, because a maybe, it's just like in sales, like you don't want a maybe, you want a no, because a no can lead you to a yes, and a yes is honestly fine if you can do it, but you can't say yes to everything. Don't say maybe to anything. It's either yes or no. And sometimes the best thing you can do for everyone is to say no, because you're not going to be stressed going to it. You're not going to have your time. You're not going to have your mind and your body. And if you're not there, both mentally, physically, and emotionally, you might as well not be there. You might as well use the time where it needs to be. Past that is following up on your healthy lifestyle choices. Understanding what you need to put in your body to really stay just operating at its high level, right? What are you eating, right? What are you drinking? What are you putting into your body, right? What are you fueling your body with? And are you giving your body the right sleep? You giving the right sleep environment? Are you controlling your mind and controlling your body in a way that allows you to just level up, right? If you're knocking yourself down out of the gate, how are you going to compete with other people that aren't? Right? If you're literally beating yourself up by drinking at night, or just staying out late, or just eating unhealthy meals 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, how are you going to compete with other high performers, right? How are you going to get out of the gate to level up, to do your best life and live your 100 if you're not coming out of the gate in your best version, your best self? Next is just understanding relaxation techniques. Taking 4 deep breaths, counting into 4, holding your breath, exhaling out to 4, holding your breath. Doing that in and out 4 times has this calming effect in your mind that no matter how chaotic or how out of control you feel, it will allow you to take a moment, take a break, and take back control of the time that is right now. Next is just using some creative outlet in your mind and your day. So if you think about this, and I think this is number 8 here, is that so many times we have this moment where we're all work, right? We're all go, where I'm all go. But you forget that your mind needs some creative element. I mean, for you, it could be karaoke, right? It could be playing an instrument. It could be playing, basketball. It could be going out there and just doing a walk into nature, right? You need to have some creative approach where your mind can wander, your mind can explore, and your mind is just not so go. Understanding these tasks, and I think that was 9 of them, like, will give you the best way to look at stress in a productive way. And when it's not coming on you in a fashion that's going to help you be better, you can say, okay, I understand that this is a very tough environment to be in right now, but I can face it in these ways because now I'm preparing myself. When we don't feel prepared, we feel in a chaotic fashion. And ask yourself, like, when you have not felt prepared before, right? Have you felt out of control? I mean, I have. And being prepared is just understanding the tools that you have in your tool belt, right? Understanding the things you have that you can say, okay, I need to relax in this moment. Okay, let me take some breaths. I need to look at how I'm eating. So maybe I won't eat that meal tonight. I'll pick something different in the menu, right? Or, I'm not controlling my mind in the morning. So let me see if I can work on some meditation techniques in the morning. Or I'm feeling sluggish. Maybe I have to push myself to get a workout in, right? To get my body going, to get the blood flowing in my body. Understanding things, it allows you to take control back so you can be resilient, be motivated to go and tackle yourself to live the 100 that you deserve. And if you want to understand, like, how are you showing up right now, you go to jasonyarusi.com. There's a free assessment there. You take that assessment. It just asks you some simple questions that you can answer at the gate to say, hey, this is my starting line. And that's the test for you to say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I start for me to get out of the gate to live the 100 that I deserve. And if you can do anything for us today, go down there and leave us an honest ratings review. It helps us continue to get this podcast out to the masses. And thank you again for helping this podcast grow to the levels it is. All right, that's what I got today. I'm Jason Yarusi. Let's do this.